Hi guys, we're back. Did you miss us? Probably not, according to our guest today, who is El Polo Loco. Hey Polo, where's your fucking video, man?
Yeah, I know. I forgot.
Oh, do better with your life, man. Oh, he's got a hat. Whoop,
If I
whoop.
wanted to do better with my life, I wouldn't be talking to you on a Sunday afternoon, now would I? Or
You know,
Saturday.
if you didn't want to do better with your life, you wouldn't have taken my advice and put a fucking hat on that monstrosity you call hair. So as you
True.
people can tell, we learned a lot about each other last episode, and I think we meshed probably like a very badly running pair of pantyhose, not very well. So, Frank, how are you, Mister? We
I'm
got
okay.
we got Frank over here, the other co-host of this bullshit we call a fucking podcast. I am Tony. I think I said that. Polo, yeah. One more time, Frank. Hi, Tony. Me,
Hi.
Polo. One more time, Frank. All right, enough with that shit. This is the Completely Inappropriate Podcast, everybody. You can find us at completelyinappropriatepodcast@gmail.com with any comments, questions, or concerns. Hey, by the way, leave us a 5-star review or a comment on Apple Podcasts. It doesn't hurt, and it's just good old-fashioned fun to talk shit on there. Let people know what you think. Frank, anything else we want to let the people know before we jump inside our this ordained minister's ass with some more conversation?
I think that's it. You covered it all.
Awesome. Great. That's the last we'll hear from Frank, everybody. Say goodbye. So, Polo, what's going on, man? We had quite a time that last hour.
I know. I wish
Yeah.
I could say it was the best hour of my life.
Oh, well, that's obvious that it wasn't, because that's to become the moment when we meet in person and you get to see this radiance glow in front of your very eyes.
Right.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
call it Radiance.
We'll call it radiance, yeah.
I was going to
So-
say it reminds me of the swamp monster from the lagoon, but okay.
Oh, that's such a hard. That didn't make any sense. You had nowhere to go with that. That's what you came up with.
If you haven't seen the classic horror film, then you wouldn't know.
How is it that? Well, I have, but where's the swamp monster here?
Talking about the thing you call a beard.
So you're just anti-beard? Is that what we're getting at here?
Actually, I am not.
So what is
I
your
own I own a
hate
shirt
for my
that says
particular-
that beards and whiskey make me frisky.
beards and whiskey make me frisky? That's a cute one. Where
Yes,
can
I do. I do own it somewhere.
do they sell that in a women's size? Because it's
I got
obvious
it
you
from the
don't
gay
fit in
strip in San Antonio. Wow.
it. Sorry, fat shaming is a big part of my MO here. Oh,
All
did I
right
hit a
then.
button? Is there a button?
Nope.
Is there? It felt like a button.
No, it's all right.
A little bit of a button. A little cork. Did I pull that one out?
No. It just lets me know how far on the sarcasm I can go.
Oh, no, you can go far. Go hard. Like, we all enjoy on occasion. So, all right, that's enough catching up with our attitudes towards each other. Frank, what are we going to talk about this episode?
We are going to talk about Polo's freaky side and maybe touch on religion since we're here so you can give him a job interview.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The whole point of meeting this person was to join me and my wife in holy matrimony. Yeah, we'll get to that later. So, what is this fascination with his sex life you have, Frank? I thought we covered it all in our inappropriate questions the last
Oh, that's
episode.
what you said fucking off mic. We're like, this episode is going to be about the sex and the religions. And I'm
Is
like,
that right? Where was I going with that? How did we end our last episode? I don't even fucking remember. I had to take a piss. I don't maintain information. That's why I record the podcast, so I don't have to fucking listen to you people and remember things. Next time I talk to you, I'll just listen to this podcast right before Polo, so I know who the fuck you are again. What are you doing there, Polo? You look very uncomfortable.
I'm just laughing at the stupidity.
The stupidity. Well, you can't call it stupid if you have nothing to say about it. You're just a
General onset stupidity, sir.
Well, tell me, what would make this what do you have?
Did
okay,
I say your podcast specifically?
Oh, come on now.
It
What
was a
stupidity
blanket
are you?
statement.
Then
It was a
tell me.
blanket statement.
Well, please elaborate on your statement. What is the stupidity, sir, of which you speak of?
Your inability to remember 2 minutes ago?
Well, it's a whole new episode. I try and keep things fresh. If I was kind of relying on my co-host to jump
But
in and help me,
yeah, I did.
not
I
like I
jumped
was
in. I'm like,
setting
hey,
him
this is
up.
what we're gonna
Well,
talk
and
about.
then there's the fact
Yeah,
that you're relying on Frank. I mean, come on. That's
There's then lies the rub. Therein lies the rub. So what's the problem here, Frank? What do you want to? I'll let Frank. You know what, Frank? My mic's going up. This is on you. You start this off.
Okay, then let's do this. So then, what Tony wanted to know was he actually? I'm like, so this is gonna be a fucking interesting dynamic, don't you think? Like, a fucking what they call a traditional marriage by a fucking gay guy. I'm like, would there be any fucking objections with? Oh, fucking Tony needs to answer that. But
Oh my
um,
God, you
I mean,
suck at this.
I mean, are we parading my sexuality before I marry them? That we're
no,
expecting Tony's family to suddenly
No.
object
So,
to this
no,
concept?
let's be
we have
clear.
we.
Shut up, Frank. You asked the totally wrong question. I don't know what the fuck he's asking you. That made no sense to me. The whole point. My sister's gay, man. She'll probably be wearing a suit as one of the fucking bridesmaids. Don't. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yes.
Like, there is no fucking negative feelings in that regard in my household. What the question was, you are an ordained minister, which means isn't that like some sort of religion? Isn't there no religious little quiz you got to give for that?
No, surprisingly, you sign up online.
What is it? You just sign up and pay a fee, and that's it. You're ordained.
Pretty much.
So it
I
has
did
nothing to
it.
do with religion.
No, it's from a universal life church, quote unquote.
Interesting. So
Like I
why is
said,
it called a minister, ordained minister?
so that way you can apparently perform weddings.
That is ridiculous. Yeah, we were originally going to go with the family priest and try and do a Catholic service, but it required like an $80 sign-up fee, another $50 for a retreat, and a donation. At least show up to church every weekend and leave your donation envelope. It doesn't matter how much you leave in the envelope. It just matters that you showed up and placed it in there. Like, great, I'll bring 50 cents every time. I don't know what to tell you people. Like, I'm a broke fucking Catholic. Well, I was trying to do that because that's what I was raised. My grandma's straight from Spain and raised in a convent. Went to school in a convent in Spain, where they're very, very strict and mean what they say. If you've never seen an old school Spanish novela in a convent, I think the women are still required to go to school at the churches, at the convents. I'm not quite sure. Fact check that later, Frank. Anyway, so moving on. What do you have to say?
On which topic? Just in
I
general?
don't know. Just in general.
I mean,
I'm trying to get to know you. What are your feelings towards religion?
I mean, I
I
have my
really
own.
thought
I have a person of faith. I mean, I'm a person of faith. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I quote my great grandmother in that sense. And if you believe in God, everyone has their own path to their higher power, and it is what it is. This concept that we spent half our time debating whose religion is appropriate just baffles my mind. Like, is that really like a necessary thing? Like, everybody has their own path to whatever religion they believe. Like,
what were you raised?
I was raised a Catholic.
So you understand the idea of the Tower of Babel and how it was the great amalgamation of the all the peoples coming together in this city in Babel, however you pronounce it, and they unified and built this tower, symbolizing the strength of man and humanity. And
Yeah.
people slowly forgot about God and they forgot to worship the deity, the one Almighty. So God smote them and destroyed the tower and the whole city of Babel, right?
Yes.
So this is a common theme that we've been talking about, and I want to get your opinion on it. To me, it seems that we as the world have come together and if the world has come together in one city, then it's just a world government, right? A United Nations of sorts.
Right.
So we're in that time where we can all communicate thanks to something called the internet. Before it was cell phones and telephones. So we got the first half of it together, but now the internet is that city of Babel that we created with telecommunications. That it is our tower. So eventually the tower is going to be so powerful and so big and such a destructive force, it's going to be what ends up toppling in our city of humanity, of the human race, and just wiping us all out all again. So that's my opinion on the city of Babel being lived out today. What do you think? Or we're gonna go more conspiracy theory. Do you think that we will continue to evolve and just become some sort of like symbiotic thing with our technology even more so, and like go all fucking AI with it and just, you know, transubstantiate into mechanical men of our own will?
I doubt we'll ever get there. I think mankind's too good at
Destroying ourselves?
at destroying ourselves for sometimes some of the most idiotic things. I mean, we have a great history of like seeing religious extremists do what they do, and we suddenly classify everybody as the same religion as extremists, and it's like, how do you even like? Where does the logic apply to that other than straight ignorance and xenophobia? So I think no matter what advancements we make in technology, mankind will destroy itself on its own. Period. We don't need help.
So religion, love it or hate it, as a general concept, not for any individual religion. If you took the religion
As a general concept, I love it because there are things that just can't be explained. I think mankind's ability to use it to promote hate, ignorance, xenophobia, homophobia, intolerance, hate it.
Yeah. So do you believe that it was a result of men? Like, did men create religion to explain the unknown, or did they create religion? Well, because to me it seems like they. Well, doesn't matter to me. I'd like to get your opinion. Did men create it as a tool, or did it become a tool after its creation?
I honestly think it became a tool after its creation. I mean, historically speaking, if you go back, come on, we had the Crusades, and religion was used to justify the Crusades.
There are very powerful points in history where you see Constantine bringing all the powerful leaders in the area, because they were the only ones who could read, to fucking read their different Bibles all in different languages. And at the time, the Bibles weren't even written down. This was all word of mouth. So you'd have different sects of, telling different stories depending on who inhabited that community. So Constantine gets all these people together, all these different priests, quote unquote, the religious leaders of these factions of religions, and they decide which of the Bible stories that they've collected are actually a part of it. So as far as we know, half the Bible is just word of mouth that people fucking made up, and the other half is written down, and the half that's written down is all wrong, but the half that was actually being said out loud was all right, and we left that out, and who the fuck knows, man? So is there any religion, do you think, that sounds plausible at all?
This sounds like this is probably one of the most vaguest answers I'll give to that.
It's a vague question.
Yeah, I think to each their own. I'm pretty sure their religious text and religion sounds plausible. I mean, all religion, whether you're Muslim, Hindu,
to them.
Yeah, like all religions at the end of the day.
Jesus, whose stomach was that? Whose stomach is that? Fess up. Frank?
What? Why is it me?
Because you're not the guest, and I felt I had to call you out first.
At the end, all religion teaches the concept that man is just supposed to love. That's it.
That's the baseline.
And that's the baseline. And the fact that not only can we love, but we somehow can fathom the ability to create hate and the exact opposite of what we should do is just kind of like, wow. Really?
Spread the love, baby.
I mean,
I think just live and let live. I understand that not everybody can enjoy each other's company. Like, I have family, I can't enjoy their company. You know, I've got for best friends and relatives up, you know, from Timbuktu that you can't stand them. You don't have any inkling of an inclination to want to be in the room with them. What was my point?
We started
Sorry.
with the vague question about is religion real?
Anyway, who cares about that? So, what other marriage ceremonies are you aware? Like, if you had to pick, so do you ever see yourself getting married? We're just gonna push through some of these topics because I realize
Mm,
we're rambling on here.
I don't know. I want to
Now
say yes, but at the same time, I am unsure.
it's legal. You don't
It
have to
is legal.
you don't have to do
Woo.
it in your backyard anymore. You can actually go out and do it in the streets.
I don't know. I say yes, but with the way I like to live my life, probably not.
Oh, how so? How do you like to
I
live your life?
I
Fast
just
in the
like
fast lane, a quarter mile at a time.
I just like being independent and not having to answer to anybody.
Ooh, an independent woman. I like it. So are you okay? I think we kind of got the answer to this on our last podcast when we got through our inappropriate questions, but are you a top or bottom?
We're gonna pass that one.
Oh, really? Okay.
There are many things I will answer, but that will be one that we will
Okay.
not.
Whether you're top or bottom, are you the dominant or submissive? Power top or submissive top, or power bottom or submissive bottom?
It all depends on the person I'm dating.
Ambidextrous is what I'm hearing in the subtext here, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't want to answer, but I'll answer for him. That's all I'm giving away. If I find out more personally, though, I'll let you know.
We'll go with ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous. I forgot what the question was. Doesn't even matter. So best and worst experience. So how have you? So you ended up getting officiated. That sounds weird. What did you end up performing a ceremony? Did we talk about that?
Just one, thank God.
Why? Thank God. So why do you even want to be considered for this, asshole?
No, so like, it was a friend of mine and
Are you
her
sure?
girlfriend. Yeah, it was a friend of mine and a girlfriend, and it was supposed to be in and out ceremony. Of course, no wedding goes as planned, and there was last minute chaos. And by the end of it, I was like, "Can I just marry you guys so I can get out of here?" Because I was supposed to marry you guys at like X time. I didn't marry them till like almost 3 hours later. So I'm just kind of there like,
Just
bro,
standing around.
can we just get this over with? Come on.
Jeez. So what was
I
the
mean,
holdup? Can you spill the tea on what happened?
First the caterers brought the
Because
wrong food.
that was my
Okay,
next
so
question. What was your worst experience at a wedding and why? So
first
I
the
didn't realize it
cater
would be the last one you officiated.
so the caterers brought the wrong food. That was the start of it.
Ugh. Wait,
And
how do you
then
bring the wrong food? What did they bring? Was it at least
I
good? What was it?
oh no, they had the caterers send it back, and it was a
Oh, damn.
nightmare. And then there was the incident where the cake almost toppled over. So there was
Are you gonna
that.
elaborate on anything or just give us bullet points here?
So first the caterer brings them the food for another wedding that was going on at the same time. So they send the caterer. The vans literally had to call each other, and they end up driving off, and finally they get the food sorted. Well, in the rush to get everything put together because they're now running behind,
Uh-huh.
they're taking out the cake. Mind you, like every wedding, yeah, we have to do this 3-4 tier freaking wedding cake.
Well, you don't
And
have to. But
you don't have
yeah.
to, but
Okay, so
yeah.
they're bringing it
So,
out.
yeah.
How does it almost topple over?
In the process of walking, one of the guys steps wrong, nearly twists his ankle, and you see him let go of the base.
Ah,
And you're just like, oh!
no.
And surprisingly, he acted fast enough to catch it, and it's just like, you see the top 2 tiers like kind of moving, and you're like,
I've
are
always
they gonna
thought
fall? Are they not gonna fall?
I
Like,
always thought that was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen in any movie when people carry the cake in during some big ceremony to present the cake. Put the fucking cake out before everyone gets there. Nobody needs to watch it. It's not a parade. Like, put the cake down. That's all you're doing is adding
and
like
then like any true
risk.
Hispanic wedding,
The chicken
you
dance.
get the tias who chisme the entire time, right?
Spilling the
Because
tea
this is
about
one of the few
everything.
times, yeah, So this is one of the few times everybody's under the same roof. So the tias on both sides of the family have to spill the tea. Unfortunately, versus doing it discreetly, these are the tias that are like, as they're spilling tea, they're there pointing and you're just like, oh God, this is really happening. Sure enough, there were accusations made that same day. I didn't overhear the accusations. I just heard yelling, and I just heard somebody say that accusations are being made because the tias decided they wanted to spill the tea.
But what happened? What'd they say?
I don't know. Like,
What
I
were
just
the
hear
accusations on the wedding party? Like on other family
I
members?
I was sitting like I was like staying towards the front where I was supposed to be, so I heard three people walking
Hold
by,
on.
and
What kind
so
of gay
I
guy
hold
are you?
on
You don't just get up and just immediately follow all the fucking drama.
because
Who
I don't
are
like
you?
drama. Because I don't like
You?
drama,
Oh, you're so not gay. Are you sure?
dude.
Drama's like
That
embedded in gay DNA. Gay
I
NA.
don't like drama, but apparently there's a debate at work if I'm gay or not. Anyway, so
Gay.
I finally get up.
More sense, I guess.
I finally get up to go get a beer after all of this because I'm thinking like
Wait,
this
hold
wedding
on.
ain't.
Okay, yeah, continue. Sorry.
I'm looking at my watch like this wedding's not gonna happen, so I'm gonna go get a beer. So I get a beer and I get to the bar and I get my beer, and three people were there talking about the cheese mess. So I got to hear a little bit. All I heard is there were accusations of infidelity. There were Sanchas, and apparently people had the audacity to bring the new significant others, even though the divorces hadn't gone through yet, to the family parties.
Sounds
And
like half of
there
my family
like,
gatherings.
I'm just there drinking my beer like,
No one fights about it though. You're supposed to sit down and talk about it. You deal with it afterwards when it gets out.
I was kind of hoping somebody would throw a fist, but no fists were thrown. I was like, man.
See, that's like the unspoken agreement we're supposed to have at weddings is that even no matter the drama you have, you save it for when it's all over. Like that's the gift we all give the bride and groom is not bringing our shit up to at their party. You know what I mean? Talk about it. That's the whole point of getting together. Talk about it all night, but you don't take action until after the wedding. You hear that,
Yeah.
people? If you're coming to my wedding and you're listening to this, save your fucking drama for the next goddamn day. Cheese me all day long, but don't you fucking bust out your fucking belts, pull out your belts, and take off your earrings and shit. I don't want to see that shit.
But it'd be more entertaining.
I mean, yeah, unless you're the entertainment, then yeah, take off your belts and everything else. But that's the bachelor party, sir. That's the or bachelorette party, whichever is lucky enough to get it. I've been looking into. I might actually order a stripper for my wife if I could find a decent one at a decent rate. But what? Why? Why the silence here? No thoughts here.
Support. You have my support in this idea.
Yeah, no, I was staring at the fucking crow, the fucking birds are eating the dog.
Frank is literally the worst podcast host / co-host to ever exist in like dimensions, like not just this one. I wish I could just say in the world, but it's multiple dimensional rifts where Frank continues to be just completely.
Don't get it started on parallel universes. Don't even go there.
That'll be for the next episode. No, actually, we can get there too if you want. How do you feel about parallel dimensions and string theory and all this shenaniganery that science tries to slam down?
It's still a theory.
No, a theory is something proven over and over again without. No, it's a hypothesis. Not proven over again, tested over and over again with the same results.
Since science isn't my forte, I stay out of it. I was a lit major.
Ooh, what made you do lit?
Because I'm a nerd and I love to read.
Me too, but I'm more of an audiobook guy nowadays because I work too goddamn much. And I happen to be able to work I work on my feet for 10, 11 hours a day, so that's basically all I do is listen to audiobooks, podcasts, and occasionally music, but rarely. But what do you read?
Anything really. Like, most of my friends will give me recommendations, and I'll just read them, good or bad. Like, if the book is that bad, I'll still go through and read them.
Best book.
Best book. I'm biased to the classics, so I'm gonna go with Crime and Punishment.
God, you're so fucking boring. I bet you like fucking Gone with the Wind too, don't you? Fucking what's
Not
that?
in my top
It's
10, but I've
why-
seen it.
Of course you fucking like that movie. God, so there's the gay. There's the gay. It came there is no doubt anymore. It came out. We're good. Not that you
Frankly,
needed to prove yourself, but let's face it, there was some questions. You said it. I wanted to get back to that. I'm happy I let you finish your story and we got back to it. Nice roundabout segue. Why do your coworkers not think you're gay?
because apparently I make comments that lead them to be like, no. So, growing up, I'm the gay dude.
So you're still a pervy gay, is what you're saying? Like you still make pervy straight comments?
pretty much.
You're such a fucking asshole. But it's the same thing as me making my comments to my gay friends. They hated it because they knew I wasn't gay, but I kept teasing them. So you're basically doing the same thing.
Yeah, and then all the guys I hang with are straight. So there's
Uh-huh.
questions like, "You're the only gay one in the group." Yeah.
Why do they
Yeah.
let you hang around?
Yeah,
What
it's
could you
just like,
possibly have in
why?
common as another human being who just happens to have a different sexuality?
I know, right? You would think,
That's
but
the thought
apparently,
process. Like I don't understand it. Like you have to be flamboyant in some way, or you're not. If you're not, no, you can't be a homosexual. Like really, like that doesn't seem offensive to you at all. Are you offended? I guess you're in that position.
I don't take offense to it. I just kind of look at it like, okay, I'm sorry, like I'm not the flamboyant end of the spectrum like some of my other coworkers, but
Well, exactly. Like, have you ever met a
good.
straight guy who's like definitely 100% straight, but he just like talked a little flamboyant? Like there was questions because of his speech pattern or his comments.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So why can't it be in reverse? People, it like explodes people's mind. Like that sounds normal, relatively.
because society's only portrayed the flamboyant type, and that's all we
Ain't
know.
that the shit? So how far into conspiracy theories do you get?
I avoid them
Oh, what a piece of shit. Why? It's half of life's fun, is thinking
because
of the what
sometimes
ifs.
because sometimes the what ifs are just too much of a stretch where you're like,
Well,
no.
says the gay guy who I thought you liked stretching things out.
Ah, ah, nice
Woo!
try.
Ah! So, uh, that completely stopped our conversation for me. I forgot where I was going with that. Um,
I
so
don't
you
know.
said no conspiracy theories. Why? What is your avoidance of them?
I guess on some level they make no sense in the end. Like,
But what about the ones that do? That's why they're
because
conspiracy theories, because on a level they do.
they just also sound backwards crazy.
But why? Subjectively, but objectively, possibly not. Frank, give us a good conspiracy theory. What's the best conspiracy theory that you've? Okay, Epstein killed himself. Yes or no? That's a conspiracy theory.
I mean, based on the
Offi-
evidence, you would
Official
assume
story is it was suicide. Yes or no?
yes, but wasn't he held in a maximum security prison in isolation?
Yeah, with cameras that happen to go off and security guards that happen to be on break and a cellmate that happened to have been just moved out and
See, that's not conspiracy. That's just straight up asking, like, if A plus B plus C plus D equals
but that's a
E,
conspiracy.
how do you
It's a
end up with
conspiracy that
ending
ended up.
F?
What's ending F? What do you
So
how do you mean?
if A plus B plus C plus D is E,
Guy
but
gets
yet we
arrested.
ended
Guy's
in.
an old guy who used to luxury, ends up in jail. Fucking worst case
So if
scenario, he ends up in jail for
yeah,
life.
so it's
Worst case scenario, he ends up shanked or fucking raped in prison. Oh, throughout the course of his incarceration, which is bound to, that's what he's facing. Let's face it. So this guy, if we're gonna take this course, then we say, yeah, it makes complete sense that why the hell would you want to continue to live if you have an opportunity to kill yourself? You kill yourself. So, final answer. Epstein, did he kill himself? Yes or no?
on paper it says he did. I'm not gonna go into the world of conspiracy theory.
Yes or no? Your thoughts.
I'm
Yes or
telling
no?
you, you're the only one that
That's the
says that
end
he
of it.
killed himself.
That's the end of it. No, I just want to hear it out of his mouth. Yeah, do you think he killed himself or not?
There's too many questionable notions to be like.
You, sir, believe in a conspiracy. Official story.
There's too many questionable notions in the logic of that.
Occam's razor, man. The simplest solution is often the correct one.
Really, Occam's razor? That's what you're gonna go with?
Why not? It applies to everything else in my entire life.
All right, I'll give you that one.
All right. So you are a conspiracy theorist. Congratulations. Frank, what else do you got for the big man? What do we got?
Well, I was thinking of asking, since we're touching religion, I was thinking of asking, would you do hand fasting?
What?
Hand fasting, it's a pagan...
the tying of the knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cord around
hand fastening?
No,
fasting.
it's called hand fasting.
Oh, okay. I just not a term I've ever heard. So explain that to me, please.
So hand fasting is mostly predominant in Druidism, Wicca, or paganism in general. When the couple is married and they speak their rights, a cord is tied. Well, hand is placed on forearm, and then a cord is wrapped around the conjoined hand and forearms as the vows are made.
Symbolizing the unification and the tying together of the spirits of the two individuals.
Yes, because Eastern philosophy teaches that the red string of destiny ties the hearts of all those that are meant to be in your life in one way or another.
So that's quite a lot of detail for an off-the-cuff response. Where did that come from? Your interest in that?
I did religious studies in college, and so I read.
You're kidding. How many semesters did you take that?
It was a one-semester course.
What is it? What was your favorite part of it? What was your favorite religion to study?
The Druids.
I imagine so. How could you not?
They were an interesting breed to study, or sect to study. But I mean, also the technicality at the end that, like we said, all religions boil down to the concept of man just loving one another.
And trying to explain the unexplained for the time.
Yes. And so how is it, as a society, we preach that our religion is our backbone, but yet we can't even do a simple concept of love, apparently.
Well, the thing is, religion is quickly, I think, in a society that has evolved to be such a technologically advanced society, religion is just a stepping stone. It was the first method to teach us what we needed to know. Don't eat pork or shellfish because it's a high risk factor for developing severe medical issues in the past, which is the reason that they argue that it's in religions such as the Muslim religion or Jewish tradition, right? And I think even in the Catholic tradition adopted it, but that was more to co-opt other people into joining. So yeah, if religion's always, so now we've got the fucking internet telling us what to eat and what not to eat and what's safe and what's not safe. So religion has kind of become obsolete as a tool for teaching us what we need to know on a basic level just to survive our day-to-day life. That's what I'm thinking.
I'd agree.
As I speak to walls, or at least
no,
one.
I mean on some level,
3 faces on 2 walls.
on some level, you're correct.
So what was your takeaway from religious studies?
Well,
I guess you already gave it, right?
Yeah.
That all of them boiled down to.
All of them boil to one commonality.
So the Druids were your favorite. Let's reverse
Yeah.
that. What was the most boring or like maybe even the most innocuous one that like the least impact, but you studied it anyway, kind of thing? I don't know, something like that. Interesting in a boring way. Let's put it that way.
Buddhism.
Wow, really? I am fascinated with Buddhism at the moment. So what is
I mean, I get it. The point is to reach enlightenment, spiritual defining.
I don't think so, though. I don't think that's the point, and I think that in itself is the point.
And it just it didn't really catch my like, oh my god, this is like amazing.
I think it's another one of those tools that got taken too far. Like, I think most religions are like an ideology or like a baseline script to follow as like what modern day humanity is telling you is you should follow, like how to treat each other, how to eat safely, how to, you know, have good hygiene and practice good government finances. All that shit is discussed in every fucking religion. So then you get to something like Buddhism that doesn't talk about that. It's the one religion, which is why it fascinates me, because it's the one religion that solely focuses on the self and the meditation. So if you didn't take it as a religion or like a way of life, but you took away from it the key points, like we should be taking away the key points from the Catholic Bible or the Muslim Quran. Is that right? Or is that?
Yes.
Muslim?
Yeah, and then the Jewish
Torah.
Torah. Oh, I almost had them all. I almost had the trifecta. I fucked it up. Anyway, so you get all that from those, but yeah, my point being that in the Buddhist community, it's all about the internal and the self and the meditation and calming your own emotions instead of how you interact with everybody out there and their emotions. You know what I mean? Which is what I think other religions do. Wow, that was a long-winded way of saying that. Sorry. But yeah.
So in short, worry about yourself.
Yeah, Buddhists teach you to worry about your goddamn self and mind your business, which is an important factor that is left out, I think, of a lot of other religions, where it's always about like trying to save everybody and get involved with everybody's business. Buddhists can teach you the opposite side of that spectrum, which is, I think, a very important thing to teach people. Ooh.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. Life is like a box of chocolates. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Pretty much.
Bitch, you bought chocolates. You gonna get chocolate. All right. You didn't buy no. You're not gonna open it up and there are gonna be strawberries in there. It's gonna be chocolate.
But is it a single type chocolate or multiple type of chocolate?
I buy a box of Milk Duds. They're all the same. That's
Right,
a box of chocolate. Depends on your box of chocolate. That's the
exactly
moral of the story here. All right. I am out of questions. I'm done. Frank, help us out here. What do you got?
Oh,
Be entertaining. Tell us more about your relationship with each other. What the fuck is this? What is this? Oh,
wow.
Explain this.
We've never really defined our relationship, okay?
Well, now's a good time because he's talking about you cheating on him. You're saying like, bitch, you ain't got no ring. Like, what's going on here? We need to put some. This is the time where the line is drawn in the sand.
I just think Frank has abandonment issues, and so if somehow we forget about him and move on to other friendships, he gets a little jealous.
I think you're completely wrong because he has no problem abandoning me. I think if I said the podcast is over, he'd never message me again. This is our only communique. Frank, anything to say?
Frank, is that true?
Just laughing out of truth. Laughing at the truth.
I'm laughing because it's probably true.
He has abandonment issues, so he takes it out on the people that won't abandon him.
Although to be fair, after we fell off of each other's radar, I saw in my car that I had your shoes, and I actually kept your shoes, thinking I'm gonna see him again. You know,
those didn't happen to be gray Pumas, were they?
Yeah.
Oh my god! That was like 10 years ago. How the fuck did I remember that? For real, they weren't gray Pumas. No way.
Yeah, they were gray. I want to say they had some green on them, but no, I think they were gray, like completely, entirely gray.
Sounds about right. I never did green. Oh, unless you were the gray Vans, which were disgusting.
No, they were Pumas.
Yeah, okay. What a weird memory. Anyway, what was the point of bringing that up? Where are my shoes, bitch? Give me back my fucking shoes. You said you kept them.
Yeah, I did, but then something happened. Somebody threw them away. I don't remember who. You know,
Say her name.
because I gave up on life. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna see them. And then when I told you about it, you were like, yeah, they were old anyways. I was gonna use them. I'm like, oh, okay, because I was telling you that they're curved now, that they're kind of like a fucking like a U. And then you went into the whole fucking it's because that was when I used to run heel to toe, and now I just run with my fucking toes and all this
That's
other
right.
bullshit.
When we first started doing this podcast, I was like, I had just finished a marathon and was training to do another one, so it was a very odd time. I need to get back to that though, because I want to be healthy. I just want to be less pretentious about it. So,
So yeah,
back
to be
the
fair,
goal.
you didn't want the shoes back in the first
Okay,
place.
we get it. What was the point? You love me. I get it. All right. You didn't want to forget the smell of my feet.
Say so.
Well, that and apparently he'd abandon you if you ended the podcast.
What? Oh yeah, he will. He will. But he'll keep my underwear. I'll send him a thong in the mail, and he can remember me for another 10 years. We'll do it every 10-year, 1-year podcast reunion kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
I
at the end,
believe that.
yeah, at the end of the year, we're gonna squash this and then pick it up again 10 years later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, folks. July, what was it, 18th or something?
27th.
July 27th, we're shutting down. There's a countdown now. Start the clock. We'll see if we hit the reset button when we get there.
Oh no.
So you have just been through almost over 2 hours with us because we started recording that last one a little later, and yeah. So, what do you think of this whole situation? Which I think we asked you at the beginning, but now you've gotten more questions and more communication. So, tell us, what is the new update on what you think of us?
It's mildly entertaining.
Hallelujah! That's what we were going for. Hallelujah! Praise
Mildly, don't.
good. Hey, mildly is a hell of a lot more than we thought we would be. Or at least me. Frank had high hopes.
Yeah, I kind of did. Yeah,
Frank
because
still has high hopes.
originally we called it a completely inappropriate podcast because when we got together, it was all fucking penis jokes and fucking gay jokes, and
Because we couldn't think of anything to talk about that didn't sound stupid or inappropriate to somebody, so there was no better name. And it was the first name I could think of, and it happened to be available, so that's our podcast name. So do you have any questions now that you've dealt with us for this long together?
Not really.
No,
Can I hang
no
up?
questions for me. Can you hang up? Are you serious? Fine, I guess we'll wrap this up. We're giving you a chance to do a little fucking. I thought you'd want to know more about me. I thought like as the minister, whatever the fuck you
You
are.
just said you don't know if it's gonna happen thanks to COVID. I mean,
Well, it'll be rescheduled.
Well, you can do it over Skype.
It really doesn't matter though. We're already married, like legally. Like we really don't need an ordained anything. We just need somebody to stand there and say the fucking words that sound pretty for us to do in front of, kind of make promises in front of each other. Isn't that all fucking? Have you ever? Anybody heard of a renewal ceremony?
yeah, don't you renew your vows every?
Their vows. They call it a golden wedding.
The only ones I know that have done it, it was because they got married through the city and then they ended up going to the church to get married. So that was their wedding renewal as far as the state was concerned, but it was their official marriage through the church.
See, I never understood that. Why do you have to get married civilly and in the church?
According to the church, because you're not married under the eye of God, which makes no sense because God is omnipresent. But there's a lot of. You're really gonna ask semantics about religion at this point in the conversation. We're 43 minutes in. This is a deep conversation you're gonna open up.
No, this is why I had nothing.
This guy wants to hop off already. He wants to
because you know I don't believe in marriage. But then since we're on topic, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna fucking ask? Other than the whole hand fasting thing, I'm like, and then you bring up the whole fucking getting married civilly and then through the church, and I'm like, why? You know, like why not just done?
Just for tradition. The idea was that we would do it for tradition's sake. Like it was the initial idea, like I said. But he is literally yawning. We are done with this conversation. Y'all people, you can find us at completelyinappropriatepodcast@gmail.com with any comments, questions, concerns. Let us know how. Why don't you? We'll put it up to a vote. We're gonna put it here. Can we? Hold on. Hold on. 1 second, please. 1 second. No, I don't. I just.
Frank, you of all people are telling me you're against marriage.
Yeah,
I'm not
why
against it, I just don't believe it.
should he not be
What?
against?
I don't believe in it. Like people
We'll
say
save that conversation for another time.
people say fucking yeah, you get married because fucking, you're gonna be so you can be together forever. And I'm like, okay, so if you're gonna be together forever, then be together forever. You don't need an expensive ass fucking ceremony. Who the fuck
No.
is gonna do
Society says you need to have an expensive ceremony. I've already said
Hang on,
on
I
the
missed that whole part there. Hopefully, this is recorded. You guys anyway, even
that?
though about that.
I've
So,
already said on the off chance I do actually get married, I'm having 100 people or less at my damn wedding. Hell, if I can have
why?
50 people or less, even better.
Can
Why
you
not
see
just
Frank?
20 people or less?
Did Frank disappear for anybody else?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't see my face. It's so pretty, and I don't see it.
Frank, your face is not that pretty.
Did you
Please
end
Yes,
up?
stop.
it is. I'm fucking gorgeous. Shut the fuck up.
Well, thank God we lost him. So what the fuck were we doing here? Were we ending this? What did I miss?
Yeah, we were.
All right.
Then I gave Frank grief about not believing in marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't? So why would he?
Oh, that's a whole long conversation for another day.
Because he wants people to be submissive and just his, right? It makes no sense that he would not want somebody bound by contract to stay with him.
Well, there's that amongst other things.
Are
But
there?
again, that's a whole.
All right. Well,
That's a
this
whole
has been.
2-hour conversation.
Shut up! I'm tired of you. You definitely don't have the job. You definitely don't have the job. I'm not even gonna let my wife listen to this because I don't want to waste her time with our conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, some people know better than to actually subscribe. Just kidding. Subscribe, people. Leave comment, review. 5 stars only. The other stars don't count. Trust us. We don't lie to you. We're the only people honest to see in your whole goddamn life. Or Spaghetti Monster in the Sky's life if you don't believe in God, you fucking atheists. Ding. So, hope you guys had a good time. Frank, anything you want to tell the people while we still can't see you?
No.
Okay, you're fucking useless. What's your name? Rolly? Polo.
Wow. Not
It is
that hard to
Polo, right?
remember.
I beg to differ. Who the fuck goes by Polo? What is your full
He
first
does.
name
My
again?
uncle does.
Who doesn't?
Frank, nobody was asking you.
You're Hispanic, dude. Go by Pollo, like everybody else. You're a little chicken. Pollito. Pollo. 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 Pollo.
What?
Any words of wisdom to share, or does no still mean no?
No still means no unless that's your safe word. But that's a whole different story.
Hey. All right, I'm done. Frank, what do we tell the people?
Be excellent to each other.
I find you're happy. Fuck off, you two. I'm never doing this again with you guys. This is the whole
Thank God.
Goodbye.